everyone. So our next topic is characteristics of a chemical reaction. Now when the chemical change takes place, then different changes are observed. First of all, evolution of a gas. You can see one example here. When zinc reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, then the product formed is zinc sulfate and gas evolved is hydrogen. Here the reactants which are used, among them one of the reactant, that is sulfuric acid, is a liquid. So when the reaction takes place, then the bubbles of the hydrogen gas are evolved in the liquid. The formation of gas bubbles in the liquid takes place since one of the reactant is a liquid here. And this formation of gas bubbles in a liquid during a chemical reaction is called as effervescence. So when a chemical reaction takes place, different characteristic changes are observed. Among them, one is the evolution of a gas. When the reaction takes place, then one of the product is a gas here. Then the second change can be observed is change of color. When a chemical reaction takes place, then the color of the reactant fades away and the new color of the product is formed. For example, when iron is added to blue colored solution of copper sulfate, then the blue color of this solution fades away due to the formation of ferrous sulfate here, which is of green color. Means the blue colored solution changes into a green colored solution on reacting with iron and forms ferrous sulfate solution here. And copper is obtained as a red colored deposit. So this is also one of the characteristic change which is observed, that the change of color takes place. Then the next characteristic of a chemical reaction is formation of precipitate. Now what is a precipitate? An insoluble solid substance which is obtained as a result of the chemical reaction is called as precipitate. For example, silver nitrate solution and sodium chloride solution. We have taken the aqueous solution of silver nitrate and aqueous solution of sodium chloride. When they will react, then the white colored precipitate of silver chloride is obtained and sodium nitrate is obtained here. So here we can see that the precipitate formation takes place of silver chloride. Next change is change of state. In some of the chemical reactions, reactant might be in the liquid state or gaseous state, or maybe in the solid state also, but the physical state of product can be changed. Here you can see ammonium chloride. Suppose this is a test tube and this is the mouth of the test tube and this is the bottom of the test tube. We have taken a small quantity of ammonium chloride, which is a solid, in the test tube, and it is kept in the tilted position. Now at this bottom of the test tube where the some of the sodium chloride is taken, we will heat it. On heating, the ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas will escape from it and will get deposited on the mouth of the test tube, which is cooler part of the test tube. And here this ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas will again combine to form a white colored mass of ammonium chloride. So this is a reversible reaction, because on heating ammonium chloride gives out ammonia gas and hydrogen chloride gas, which gets deposited on the cooler part of the test tube, and on cooling they again combine to form ammonium chloride, which is a solid. So here you can see that the physical state is changing from solid to gaseous state. This is a sublimation process. So this is an example of change of state. Next topic is types of chemical reactions. There are four types of chemical reactions basically. First is direct combination reaction, which is also called as synthesis reaction. Next is decomposition, displacement and double decomposition reaction, which is also called as double displacement reaction. First of all, we will study about direct combination reaction. Direct combination reaction is a reaction in which two or more substances combine together to form a single substance. In which two or more substances combine to form a single substance, they are called as direct combination reactions. So as I have told you that in the combination reaction, two or more substances combine to give a new substance. So different cases can be here that two elements can combine to form a new compound. For example, we have taken carbon and oxygen. Carbon is an element and oxygen is also an element. It is a diatomic element. So when carbon burns in the presence of oxygen, then a new compound is formed here, a gaseous product is formed here, that is carbon dioxide gas. So here both of the reactants are in the element form. Second case is an element and a compound can combine to give a new compound. Here we have taken carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a compound. It burns in the presence of oxygen, which is a diatomic element, to give a gaseous product called carbon dioxide. So here one element and one compound are reacting. Next is two or more compounds can combine to form a single product. Here both of the reactants are the compounds only. Ammonia and hydrogen chloride gas. They both are compounds and they react to form ammonium chloride, which is a new product formed here. So in this way, in the combination reactions, two elements can combine, an element and a compound can combine, and two or more compounds can combine to form a single product. So now there are some of the experiments which can be performed to observe the direct combination reaction. Let's see first reaction. Suppose we have taken some black colored lead sulfide in a test tube and we will heat it. On heating, it means that this black colored lead sulfide will react with oxygen to form lead sulfate. So here one compound and an element is combining to form a new product. This is an example of combination reaction again. In the same way, if we will take a magnesium ribbon and take it to the flame, then this magnesium will burn in the presence of oxygen to form magnesium oxide. This is again an experiment of a direct combination reaction where two elements are combining to form a new compound. So these are the experiments which can be performed of the direct combination reaction. Next reaction is decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction are the reactions in which the breaking up of a compound takes place either into elements or simpler compounds such that these products do not recombine to form the original compound. Means the process in which a compound decomposes either into element or simpler compounds such that the product do not recombine to form the original compound. This is the decomposition reaction. And the decomposition reaction that is brought about by heat. A decomposition reaction which is carried out in the presence of heat is called as thermal decomposition reaction. Now as I have told you, in the decomposition reaction, a compound breaks up into two or more new substances. A substance breaks up into two or more new substances. So here, a compound can break up into two or more elements. In the decomposition reaction, a compound can break up into two or more elements. Example, mercuric oxide. On heating, it decomposes to give out mercury and oxygen. So here mercury and oxygen, they both are the elements. Also in the decomposition reaction, a compound can break up to form both element and compounds. For example, potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate is a compound. On strong heating, it decomposes to give potassium nitrite, which is a compound, and oxygen, which is a diatomic element. Also, a compound can break up to form two or more new compounds. For example, when calcium carbonate is strongly heated at about 1000 degrees Celsius, then this calcium carbonate decomposes to give calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So here a compound is decomposing into two simpler compounds. Okay, now different tables are given here about the thermal decomposition of metallic compounds. So first of all, about metallic hydroxides, it is given that when the metallic hydroxides of different metals are heated, then what are the products formed? Potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide, they are stable to heat, means they do not decompose on heating. So two hydroxides which does not decompose on heating are potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. But from calcium to copper, you can see when the metallic hydroxides of these metals are heated, then they decompose to form metal oxide and water vapor. Let's take one example, calcium hydroxide. On strong heating, it decomposes to give calcium oxide and water vapor. In the same way, others also decompose to give their respective metallic oxides and water vapor. And about mercury and silver, when their metallic hydroxides are heated, then they yield metal, oxygen and water vapor. Let's take example of silver hydroxide. On heating, it gives out silver, oxygen and water vapor. So you have to remember the products which are formed when the metallic hydroxides are heated. Next is about metallic carbonates. Potassium carbonate and sodium carbonate, they are stable to heat and soluble in water. So if the question is asked that name two carbonates which does not decompose on heating, then the answer will be sodium carbonate and potassium carbonate. Whereas from calcium to copper, you can see that their carbonates decompose on heating with the decreasing vigor to form metal oxide and carbon dioxide. Let's take example. If we have taken magnesium carbonate, then it will decompose on heating to give magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. If copper carbonate is heated, it will decompose to give copper oxide and carbon dioxide. Whereas about mercury and silver, their carbonates decompose to give metal, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So you have to remember the products formed. Then we have about metallic bicarbonate. Then we have about metal bicarbonates. When the metal bicarbonates, which we also say metal hydrogen carbonates, when they are heated, then they decompose to give metal carbonate, water vapor and carbon dioxide. Let's take one example of magnesium bicarbonate. On strong heating, it gives out magnesium carbonate, water vapor and carbon dioxide. In the same way, calcium bicarbonate will give calcium carbonate, water vapor and carbon dioxide. Then we have metal nitrates. Potassium nitrate and sodium nitrate. On heating, they melt and decompose to give metal nitrite and oxygen. For example, potassium nitrate will give out potassium, nitrite and oxygen. And the metals from calcium to copper, all of these metals, when the metallic nitrates of elements from calcium to copper are heated, then they decompose on heating to form metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Let's take example of calcium nitrate. When heated, it gives out calcium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. In the same way, you can see the other nitrates also. Then about silver and mercury, we can say that when their nitrates are heated, then they form metal, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Example, silver nitrate. If silver nitrate is heated, it gives out the metal silver, brown gas nitrogen dioxide and a colorless gas oxygen. Then the next topic given is decomposition reaction in our body. First of all, we should know that what are enzymes. Enzymes are those substances which are produced by our body, which act as a catalyst to speed up the chemical reaction which takes place in our body. So the digestion of food is also an example of decomposition reaction, because the food which we eat and the starch which is present in the food is decomposed into glucose and sugar. Proteins undergo decomposition to form amino acids. Fats and oils, they decompose to form fatty acids. In the same way, finally, when you can see here that